Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to our equations number 2 lesson. Before you complete this lesson, you should go back and complete equations number 1 on My Maths. Today we're going to be looking at function machines and doing equations which have more than one step. We're twins, and they have the same mass, and we represent mass using the letter M in this equation. And they've got their friend, her name is Callie, and her mass is 3 grams. When they jump on the scales, we can see that all three of them together weigh 17 grams. You can see that down here. So what is Ali's mass and Bally's mass? Well, we can write this as an equation, and we can say m plus n plus 3 equals 17. We can simplify that equation down to say 2m plus 17. So 2 times something plus 3 equals 17. Now if Callie jumps off, we obviously lose 3 grams, and the scale goes down by 3. 17 take away 3 is 14. So the scales go down to 14. So now we're saying 2m equals 14. So 2 times what equals 14? Well, m must be 7. And that is a basic equation. Now we can use function machines to do the same thing. So if we look at this equation here, we've got 2x plus 8 equals 18. We need to read the equation in the right order to set up the function machine. So we're going to start with x. We're going to do x multiplied by 2, and we're going to add 8, and that's going to make 18. The function machine is doing exactly what that equation is. Now to solve x, we're going to use the inverse operation, and we're going to work it backwards. Remember, the inverse is the opposite. So we're going to do 18 subtract 8, which is 10, and then divide 10 by 2, which should make 5. So by working backwards and using the function machine, we can see that x equals 5. So now have a go at this. We've got x multiplied by 5, add 2 equals 22. So work it backwards. Okay, do 22 subtract 2 first, and then divide that by 5 to find x. And here is the answer. So we subtracted 2 from 22 instead of adding 2, the inverse, and then we've divided by 5 instead of multiplying by 5. And we should have the answer 4. So we're just working it backwards. Well done. Let's look a little bit more mathematical. So I'm going to pretend I'm thinking of a number. You don't know what it is, so we're going to call it x. We're going to multiply that by 3. 3x next to each other means multiply. You should know that. And then we're going to subtract 1 from that number, which leaves us 14. So now we've got our equation and we're ready to solve it, which will find out what my number was at the beginning. So if we cover up the number, we know that it must be 15, because something minus 1 equals 14. So 15 minus 1 equals 14. So 3x must equal 15. Well, if you know your 3 times table, which hopefully you do, you know 3 times 5 is 15. So x is going to be 5. Let's substitute x into 5 there. So 3 times 5 minus 1 equals 14, as you can see. Now a good way of solving it is to use a balance. So for this problem, we've got 2x plus 3 equals 17. And the idea is to get x on its own using inverse operations. Now remember, equals does not mean answer, it means both sides are the same. So 2x plus 3 is the same as 17. So if we write that on a balance, when we add 2x plus 3, we can see this side over on the left is heavier than this side over on the right, because there's nothing in over on the right. But when we put 17 on the right, they're balanced because of the equal sign. So when we're solving equations, we want to keep both sides balanced. And we're always trying to get x on its own. So to get x on its own, we want to get rid of this add 3, so we're going to take 3 away. But if we take 3 away, it's not balanced, so we need to do the same on the right-hand side. So we're going to take 3 away on the right-hand side as well. So that leaves us with 2x and 14, because we've taken away the 3 on both sides. So now to get x, we need to divide by 2. So we're going to do the same on both sides again. We're going to divide this side by 2 on the left, and then we're going to divide 14 by 2 on the right. And that leaves us with x as 7. So we can do this again, but this time without the balanced pictures. So we have an equation, 7x plus 4 equals 25. We want to get this on its own. So we're going to subtract 4 here, and we're going to subtract 4 from 25. So 7x plus 4, take away 4, and then we're going to take away 4 from the 25, which gets us 7x equals 21. Now to get x on its own, we need to divide it by 7. So divide both sides by 7. So x equals 3. This one has a negative number, so it makes it a little bit harder. Our equation is minus 2x plus 3 equals 7. So let's get rid of the 3's first. So we're going to subtract 3 to get rid of the add 3, and we have to do the same on both sides. So now we have negative 2x equals 4. So let's now get rid of the negative 2. So we're going to divide x by negative 2, which means we're going to divide 4 by negative 2. And when you divide by negative 2, you're going to get negative 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. So x equals negative 2. The process is the same. You've just got to be careful with the negative numbers. And on this one here, it is a tricky one because you've got negative numbers on both sides. So minus 3x minus 6 equals minus 18. So we're going to add 6 to both to get rid of this negative 6. So add 6, add 6. Now remember, we're adding 6 to a negative number here. So we've now got minus 3x equals negative 12. Okay, so we're going to divide this side by negative 3, and we're going to divide this side by negative 3. But we've already got a negative number. And remember, when you get two negatives together, you end up with a positive. So x, in this example, equals 4. So this last example is quite tricky, but don't worry about it too much. The process is the same. So now it's your go. Pause the video. Have a go at these. 5 is hard. Think about your negative number rules. And then once you've had a go, I'll show you the answers. Answers. So a couple were quite tricky. So if we look at the first one, all I did was subtract 4 from 12 to make 8, and then I knew 2 times 4 makes 8. On the second one here, 3x subtract 7, we did 8, add 7 was 15. So 3 times 5 equals 15, basically. So x equals 5. On this one, they've moved it around, but you can still do things in the same order. So here we've got 30 at 8, take away 13, which equals minus 5. So 5 times what makes minus 5? So 5 times minus 1 to make minus 5, so minus 1. Here, 13, take away the 1 equals 12. 6 times 2 equals 12, so p equals 2. And on the last one, which is quite tricky, here, 33 equals 12, subtract 7a. We needed to add 22. Sorry, 21. We need to add 21 to make 33. But we've got to subtract here. So if we do minus 7 multiplied by negative 3, we'll have 7 take away negative 21. So it becomes 7, 12, add 21. So that 12 take away 21 because 2 negatives. Quite tricky, the last one. So that's all there is to it. Now it looks harder than it is, and you can actually approach it in either the way we did at the beginning of the lesson or the balancing way. It's up to you. As you go into secondary school, you're going to need to use the balancing method more and more often, but probably for the work you could do today, you'll be able to use the first method by working it backwards and using the inverse if you want to. But have a go. Send me some messages if you're not sure, if it's anything you don't understand. If you're in school, it's probably easy to come and see me on Thursday, and I'll go through it with you then, if you need to. But hopefully, you'll fly through it, and it'll be super. So, best of luck. Have a nice day, and I'll see you soon.